Hey, this is Bree. Welcome to my kitchen. We are gonna do a baking day today. I have a lot planned, a lot ready to go. I am organized. I have my kitchen set up how I want it set up so that I can just start busting out the baking. Baking batch cooking days are a little different for me. They take a lot more of my thought process and my brain than when I'm cooking. And the reason for that is cooking for me feels pretty intuitive, whereas baking feels like you have to follow a recipe, because you do. Otherwise, you will completely mess up the dish. Whereas with cooking, it's really difficult to completely mess up whatever it is that you're making. So I can kind of fly through recipes whenever I'm just cooking, but with baking, I really have to take it step by step and kind of do one thing at a time. Now, I will say I am super organized today, and I even have a list of how I'm gonna get through each item. You know, which one first, then second, then third. I don't necessarily always do that whenever I'm cooking because, like I said, my brain, it's just so intuitive to me, cooking is. But with baking, I can't do that. So let me show you what we're gonna be making. I have my recipes all set up for the first thing we're gonna do. I have all of the rest of my recipes out of my recipe book, ready to go. And I have my list of everything I'm gonna cook. So my hope is that I'm gonna make 48 blueberry muffins, 48 cranberry muffins, 9 loaves of quick bread, 3 breakfasts worth of frozen waffles, and then I wanna make 6 meals worth of frozen biscuits. That is a lot of food. One way I am hoping to get this done, especially starting this late in the afternoon, it's about 3 o'clock. So I know this is gonna go late into the evening, which I honestly don't mind that today because some of this, it'll be nice to do whenever the babies are in bed. But I'm gonna start now so that I'm not working, you know, through the night, just into the night. I don't usually link my recipes because I don't have them written out really well when I'm cooking things, but I do have these recipes written down. It's a lot of recipes. Eventually I'm gonna have a website that'll just link you to the recipes, but I am not there yet. It's gonna probably take me forever to get a website going. Okay, let me tell you the 3 kinds of quick bread we're making. We are gonna have my best banana bread. We are gonna make a cranberry orange muffins. We're gonna use dried cranberries, so this is my dried cranberry recipe. I also have a fresh recipe, but I don't have fresh cranberries. And we're also gonna make an applesauce oatmeal bread. One thing I have to say about my banana bread is that I don't have any old bananas. I meant to stop at the discount grocery store and buy some old bananas, and I totally forgot. So I had to just get new bananas from the closest grocery store. So that's what I have. I've never made banana bread without using old, sweet, moist bananas, so we'll see how this turns out. Obviously, using old bananas is the best thing. One thing I did go ahead and do before I even started this video is I put my cranberries into the orange juice to be plumping up. I feel like parchment is kind of a pain to use sometimes, especially in like loaf pans or cake pans or brownie pans. But that's a lot of pans to wash, and I may have extra batter and I'd want to quickly switch out. Take a loaf out, you know, to cool and put new batter in. So let's get started on this applesauce bread. One thing I like to do is I actually prefer my recipes on full sheets of paper. That way I can write big and sloppy and write instructions and correct things, and then I just put it in a little sheet protector. That's how I like to do my recipes. Okay, applesauce bread, applesauce oatmeal bread, let's go. Also, just so you know, I'm tripling every recipe. As with most baked goods, you're gonna add all the dry ingredients together, sift or whisk those together. I just whisk them. I often try to find recipes that use oil, not butter. It's just easier to me. It's also less expensive. I try to use good quality oils, not seed oils. And then also like avocados are really good oil because it's healthy, but also because it doesn't leave a flavor in the food. So that's my preferred oil when baking. So most of the time that I share recipes that are quick breads or muffins, things like that, the fat is gonna be in oil, not a butter.
Can I throw these in your freezer while I'm here?
Go for it. Give her hers back. Thank you. Thank you. Are you guys helping? Be kind. Oh, don't take his toy. Don't take his toy. You didn't like it when he took yours. Take your finger out. There you go. I have some... Y'all are so loud. I have some gorgeous farm fresh eggs from a new friend. These are room temperature. You may be wondering why so many recipes call for room temperature eggs. And there's a couple of reasons. I'm gonna keep it very simple. Hey, look. One reason is because the yolk and the white mix together easier. Also, your eggs and your other ingredients will mix together a lot more thoroughly. But really the most important reason is because it gives rise to your baked goods. So when the protein in the egg is cold, it doesn't fluff up as much and trap as much air while it's baking. Whenever it is room temperature, I'm right here. Whenever those eggs are room temperature, they fluff up and trap more air. That is the non-scientific quick answer to why room temperature eggs. Something that's interesting to think about is for most of all time, there wasn't electric refrigeration, and people would have just had their eggs on the counter straight from their chickens, and all eggs would have been room temperature. So it makes sense that when we started refrigerating our eggs, people noticed a difference in their baked goods and started distinguishing between room temperature eggs and not room temperature eggs or cold eggs. This has actually been one of my most challenging batch cooking days. I have two very fussy, unhappy babies today. So most of this is gonna get done later tonight. I just need to get through these quick breads. You know, baking is really an art form and a science. It's really fascinating, and you can teach your children and yourself a lot of science just through diving in a little bit deeper with baking and why you need certain things in baked goods. Why you need... If you hit me, does that mean you want to kiss? Don't hit me in the face. That hurts me. Can you show me gentle, please? Can you show me gentle? Gentle, thank you. I'm gonna go see if I can get a babysitter. You wanna go play with your brothers and sisters? You wanna go play with them? Hey, anybody wanna take a baby, please?
Yeah.
You'll be rewarded with delicious baked goods.
I'll already be rewarded.
That's true.
Please bring a few boxes outside. We'll clean them up.
I'm adding my wet to my dry. And I'm just gonna gently mix this, and then once it's kind of all wet, I'll add the oats and the applesauce. Ooh, that smells amazing. Maybe you'll go in a high chair right now. I've got 3 whole loaves of bread done. But you know what? That took about as much energy as 1 loaf of bread would take, so might as well make 3. I do have dinner cooking in the oven because I got such a late start. I meant to have the quick breads done before I had to stick dinner in the oven. But that's okay. I'll just pivot, be flexible. That is the name of the game whenever you're doing anything in life, but especially cooking with children. Especially making YouTube videos with children. Especially doing anything with children. So I'm just gonna put this on the lower shelf, put my bread on the upper shelf. I actually am gonna go ahead and make my other 6 loaves because dinner is just about done cooking and I can take that out and throw the other ones in. It'll be fine. Here's a tip. I don't need to wash my dry bowl because it's basically the same ingredients going into the other 2 types of quick bread. I only need to wash my wet bowl. And obviously if I had lots of extra bowls, I wouldn't need to wash any. I could just keep going. But washing one bowl really quick is actually very helpful, I feel like, because I'll have less to wash at the end of the night. You're back already. Did you miss me so much?
He wants another water rod.
I bet he does, yeah. I totally got myself mixed up and I was thinking I was gonna make cranberry orange muffins, not cranberry orange bread, but I think I'm just gonna do bread since I have it all out and ready. And then I'll do the pumpkin muffins. I'll do the pumpkin bread as muffins, is what I'm thinking. So that's what we're gonna do instead. We're just switching things around. It's honestly really no different. You can bake muffins in a big pan or in a loaf pan or in muffin cups. Whatever you wanna do. You just have to adjust the cooking time a little. Another reason not to wash your dry bowl, if you're gonna do anything, just wipe it out, is because if you're limited on bowls, if you get this all wet, then all of the dry will stick to the bottom and the sides. And this way you're not getting it wet and causing that problem. Onto the cranberry orange bread. Flour. Let's get our dry goods going. Whoa, come back, Royal. Roy, come here. I'm sure a lot of you guys wonder if I spoon my flour into my measuring cup. I don't do that. If I was a really good baker, I would do that. And what that does is it keeps the flour from compacting and you putting too much flour into your baked goods and then kind of drying them out. If I was making like a really special birthday cake or something I really wanted to make sure was exactly perfect, I would do that. But I'm not worried about these muffins and breads not turning out perfectly. I find that quick breads, sweet breads, the main thing that messes them up is overcooking them. So it's good to take them out when they're still a tiny bit undercooked and then they'll continue cooking because they still have that same amount of heat trapped in the bread. Otherwise, pretty much if you follow the recipe, I have never messed up a quick bread except overcooking it. I'm sure there's ways to mess it up. I'm just telling you my experience is that mostly the way I have messed up sweet breads and muffins and stuff like that is by overcooking them. I still make that mistake all the time. Lulu, do you want your own measuring cup? I see you. I think it would be really fun and beneficial for batch cooking to have like a base bread recipe or a base muffin recipe, and then you can just add in whatever you're gonna add in. That may not work whenever you're adding too many liquids, like with this cranberry orange bread, because there's a lot of orange juice going in here. But in general, it could be like your base for like blueberry muffins or chocolate chip muffins, things like that. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hey, don't.
Can I help you do this?
Yeah, you can help me, but right now I gotta do something real quick.
But
Is
right
that
now I
orange?
gotta do something real quick.
You gotta do something really quick? Okay.
So, I gotta do something really quick. Mama, these week's coffee. Yeah.
Can you please get off the counter?
Can you please get off the counter? Is that orange?
Yeah, this is called orange zest.
What's orange zest?
Come on the
Mama,
other
what?
side, please.
Huh?
Come on my other side, please. Zest is when you take the peel and you scrape it off and you put it into something like a baked good or really any kind of cooking item, and it makes the flavor of that thing stronger. So just the orange juice, the flavor wouldn't be very strong. You would barely taste the orange in the baked good. The zest gives it a much stronger flavor.
Why is there so much? So
Mama,
Mama.
do you want out of your high chair? Mom, can you say mommy? Mama. No, you gotta turn it around. It's not safe to do it that way because it can fall backward.
Cut yourself.
Oh, good point.
Why are you not doing the orange?
Because you just want the orange peel.
But why?
Because that's the part that has the strongest flavor. It says to do 1 whole orange for 1 loaf, but we're making 3 loaves. So how many oranges should we zest?
6.
You think 6?
Mm-hmm.
If we do 1 for 1 loaf, how many do we do for 3 loaves?
No, 2.
Close. 1, 1 loaf. 2, 2 loaves. 3, 4,
4 loaves.
3 loaves. First, you're gonna whisk the dry stuff. Okay,
And then we're gonna put in the wet stuff.
that's exactly right. Okay, you ready?
I was going to bring that out.
Really?
Hi. Can I mix it now?
Not with that, not with the whisk. We'll use the spoon. Ready? Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Look at those pretty cranberries and orange juice.
Can I do it?
Can I show you something? I just want you to hold one side of the bowl. Okay, hold. One thing whenever you're cooking with kids is buy these stainless steel bowls that have the rubber bottoms. They don't slip so easily. And then also teach your child to hold the side of the bowl. And also, a lot of times kids just don't notice things, right? Because kids are so in the moment that all they're thinking about is, oh, I get to do this really fun activity. So you have to kind of teach them every step. Remember to hold one side of the bowl. And so what I showed him, you know, if I just said, okay, stir this, he probably would have started stirring so fast that he overflowed the edges. But what did I say?
Hold the edge.
And stir gently, right? And slowly. Can I show you one thing too?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm 4.
You are 4. You can also just fold it. You see that? Look, go all the way to the bottom. That's why it's important to hold, because it might move the bowl. And then bring it up to the top.
So now maybe 6, right?
Do you remember what's after 4?
Yes. 5.
5, yeah. All right, gently.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's exactly
6, 7, 8.
All right, go ahead and stir that. I'm gonna wash this.
Good day. It's like a jelly belly.
Tastes.
If they was watching this, kapow. Kapow. Kapow.
Kapow. Did you get that from Cars? The movie Cars? Kapow.
Yeah.
Or does he say ka-ching? What does he say? He says kapow.
No, he says ka-ching.
Ka-ching.
Okay.
Royal, you eat it. You lick it.
Mom?
Good job. Did you try it?
Mom,
Do you like it? I know plenty of people are gonna be aghast that I let my kids lick the spoons, but teaches them. I licked spoons my whole life, never got sick. My kids have licked spoons their whole lives, have never gotten sick. So we're gonna keep enjoying the tradition of licking the spoon when mommy bakes. I am going to stop right now and
what tasty what's this?
I'm actually gonna stop right now and clean up some and start getting ready for dinner. And then because right after dinner, I can get the babies in bed and then can fly through this project after that. One thing I've learned is if I try to push through and make something happen, I only get frustrated and angry and get, you know, maybe yell at my kids or mess up whatever it is that I'm trying to do. So when I get to that place where I feel like there is a wall or it's just getting too hard to accomplish whatever task I'm doing, I stop and I take a deep breath and look around and say, what's going on? Like, what do I need to change? And what needs to change right now is that it's almost dinner time. And if I don't stop right now and put my efforts toward tidiness and towards and towards feeding my kids, everyone will be really stressed out and fussing because they're hungry and overwhelmed because there's such a big mess everywhere. So while things are still relatively calm, because from experience I know they're about to not be, while things are still relatively calm, I go ahead and get myself to a stopping point and take care of my kids' needs so that this process is more fun than it is stressful. It's still a little bit stressful. Cooking with kids, doing anything with kids is always going to be a little bit stressful, but you can do things to ensure that there's a lot of fun in it as well. Okay, I'm back. I bet you didn't even notice I was gone. Dinner done, kitchen clean, kids in bed. Mostly, some of the kids are up. Everything turned out pretty well. They're slightly overcooked. I'm still learning how to use this gas oven and adjusting baking times for the heat of this gas oven. It's so hot. I feel like it cooks things so much faster, but it cooks the outside. The inside is still doughy. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to bake well in this gas oven. I have a couple of kids who really don't like bananas, but they will eat banana bread if I blend the bananas up really smoothly and there's no chunks in the banana bread. So that's what I was doing. It also really helps blend up a lot of bananas whenever you're making a triple batch of banana bread. So I'm sure you're looking at all my sugar bags and saying, why doesn't she buy sugar in bulk? Well, I do usually, but I haven't placed in a zero order in a very long time. So when I do, sugar is on that list to buy a 50-pound bag of. Instead, I just get what I can from Aldi, little 2 pounds at a time. I mean, I try to buy 5 or 6 of these at once when I can. So when I have big baking days like this, I'm prepared with sugar, but an even better way is to buy it in bulk and keep it in a bucket. You're not asleep. It's bedtime though. You guys look so tired. Okay, come on.
Just a sec.
Just a sec. They love saying just a second. And it drives me crazy, and then I realize I say it all the time. Just a second. Just a second. You want a job? Come here, bub. I've lost the job, don't worry. Pour this, you're gonna pour these bananas in here. Hold this down so it doesn't fall out, okay? What's your favorite, hey Justice, what's your favorite quick bread mommy makes, or sweet bread?
Banana bread.
That's what you're making. But I blended the bananas so that Grace will eat it.
I'm not.
There'll be no chunks.
No.
There will be no chunks.
How can I help you?
That has the bananas.
No, it's really good. So each of us have
All of you.
each of us.
One thing I do, especially when I'm having a big baking day, is I just set a pan out and I collect all of the eggshells into the pan, and then I will roast this, and then I will crush up the eggshells to put into my garden soil.
Why?
So it helps put calcium into the soil for the plants. Vanilla. I forgot to put it in the apple bread. I get that mixed together really well, Justice, and then pour it in this bowl. Thank you, that is very helpful. I honestly wish I had made 6 or 8 of each kind of bread instead of just like 3 of them.
Some kids don't like banana.
What?
Some kids don't like banana.
Well, I know, but enough of them in our family do. That we can.
Yeah, if all you made was banana bread and bogles and steak, I'll do that.
My energy levels have completely plummeted, but it's kind of really nice to work at night like this. It's really, really peaceful. Brighton, do you want to come help me make the pumpkin chocolate chip bread? All right, Brady, you gonna make pumpkin chocolate chip bread with me?
No. So I do 4 more.
Yes. Yeah. Is that 6 cups?
Sugar. Yeah.
Okay. Are you supposed to be in bed?
Yeah.
Is it spring break though?
No.
I love that it is spring break.
Yes.
Is this more fun than watching TV?
Yes. No. Mama, where's the milk?
You don't have to say yes. You can say no. But they did want to watch. I let them watch a movie tonight and they wanted to watch another one and I said nope, but you can bake with me. Or you can go to bed. Another 18 beautiful farm eggs. So pretty. We've got Joyful over here working on waffles. This is actually a new waffle maker. This will be our first time using it. Joyful on waffles. All right, add that to your batter. And then we'll eyeball the milk.
May I use the whisk?
Oh yeah, give him, can you give him the whisk to,
I'm gonna pour it now, okay?
So now gently, hey Joy, gently just.
You've got to mix that first.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's why he needs the whisk.
So, ready? I'm gonna pour it. Okay, I'm gonna whisk. Ready? Smash
Yeah.
all the eggs first. You gotta smash. Yeah. I'm really good at that.
Go ahead. Let me take a look at it before you're done. Let's see. We still have to add the pumpkin. Let's see here. You do a lot of math whenever you're doubling and tripling and quadrupling recipes. Lots of fractions.
Me and Lily, we would always make these big batches of, for our parties, we'd always make these big batches of no-bake chocolate cookies. And we'd always quadruple the batch. So then we made like 5 pans. Into this.
Yeah.
Is what? Okay,
Well, first add this. The pumpkin, we're adding the pumpkin in here in just a second.
Oh,
go ahead and add
look
your...
at that. Look. Okay, ready? I'm pouring it. Hey, I'm...
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Pour it in the middle. There you go.
It's an island, Mama. What's that, Mama? Okay.
How do you think it looks?
I'm gonna pour it.
It looks perfect, I feel like. Do you know how to get this out with the spatula every last bit? Because the spatula helps you get every single last bit out.
You go down and
Should I go get the vegetable oil to spray it? I have the spray right there. So what you want to do here, this is a new one. We are having a hard time. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're just learning. Where is that? There's got to be a booklet that came with it. I just don't know what I did with the booklet. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure ready. Grandma has something like that. When it turns green, it's supposed to be done.
Okay, we'll just do it the way Grandma does it. That's how every waffle maker I've ever had does, so.
But it's like... I feel like I'm getting poisoned. Good morning.
Go wash your face then.
Very funny, Joy. We're making waffles.
Good, yeah, good morning, Grace. That's what it feels like. You come in and everyone's cooking.
Stayed up all night.
Yeah, so first you want to mix that really good and then we'll fold in the chocolate chips. Okay, open it, see what happens.
How do you open it?
Just lift it up. Whoa, it looks good. It's perfect. Tiny waffles, but.
I think we might have not added...
All of your dreams are coming true for hot breakfasts, guys.
Can I just spit this one to taste?
Yes.
So, Mama, 1 cup entirely?
Yeah, we did 1 cup, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did 2 scoops, which is 1
There's
cup.
1 apiece? Yes. Okay, it's hot. It's so hot.
What do you think, Chef?
Yummy.
They're really good. starting on muffins. Me and Justice are about to start working on probably more muffins. No, we'll work on biscuit dough because all of the muffin pans will be used up. And then we need to wrap these up. Got a lot going on. It is moving very quickly now that the babies are in bed and everyone is working together on a job. So usually I would wrap these in plastic wrap, but I don't have any. But I do have parchment and aluminum foil, so that's what I'm going to use today. Then of course, once everything is wrapped up, we will label it. I'll just say what it is and then what the date is today. Typically, quick breads are gonna last for up to 3 months in the freezer. These will not be in the freezer that long. These will last about a month. Okay, we are finally getting close to the end. We just have biscuits. Some of this stuff I'm probably gonna have to leave out and to cool overnight, which is fine because it's baked goods. I can just cover it with a cloth and that will keep it from it getting real stale, but it will be fine in the morning to freeze. I'm gonna start with these biscuits. This is really the thing I'm the most excited about to freeze, are these biscuits. I'm a little nervous because I am tripling this recipe, and it's a recipe that I already double because I have so many kids. Just like a regular thing of biscuits is a double recipe. So I might need to do 2 bowls. The other thing is I'm not using butter, I'm using avocado oil. I definitely think butter is preferable, but you really can't tell that much of a difference by using avocado oil. So what butter does for your biscuits is whenever you work cold butter into the flour and then you make your biscuits, once it's in the oven, the steam that comes off of that butter makes your biscuit rise a little bit more, and it also makes them more fluffy and flaky. And the thing is with the oil, it doesn't make them as flaky, but they are still nice and light and fluffy and wonderful. So I feel like for the sake of just simplicity, using the oil is a really great way to go for making a big batch of biscuits. One thing I do when I make biscuits is I add baking powder and baking soda. And then because there's baking soda, you need an acid. And so like buttermilk could be that. But what I do is I just make sour milk, and I do milk. I do a little less milk than it calls for, and then I top it off with the vinegar. You can also use lemon juice, but as many of you probably already know, you can also use lard to make biscuits. It does make a very good biscuit, but to use lard in biscuits, you need to use the leaf lard, which is this really clean fat found around the kidneys of a pig, and there's not much of it. So a lot of times people will save their lard, their leaf lard, for pastries like pie crusts. If you use lard from other parts of the pig, your biscuits will taste like pork. I want to show you one trick while we're making biscuits that will make your biscuits a lot better. Biscuits, you don't want to activate too much of the gluten, so you want to be really gentle with them. You're gonna just fold the liquid in with the flour. You can do a little bit of kneading, but not like with bread. Otherwise, you're gonna make a very dense, hard biscuit instead of a light, fluffy one. So, you know, instead of like stirring and stirring and stirring, you're just gonna be really gentle with it. Some people call this folding. You don't have to treat it like a piece of china. You just don't wanna like stir and stir and stir and knead like you would bread dough. If you're finding that your biscuit dough is a little bit wet, let it just sit there for a minute. Let the flour soak up some of that liquid, because especially if you used oil, there's more liquid in the dough than would have been if you had just used butter. So let it sit here, soak it up a little, and then see where you're at before you add too much more flour. Mine's looking just about right. I need a tiny bit of flour, but I'm not gonna add it necessarily here because it needs something to sit on to not stick to the counter. So we'll just add that flour here on the counter. Now what I like to do is pour my dough. You can knead it in the bowl if you want to, and that does make less of a mess. And a lot of times you don't even have to knead it either. So I'm just gonna pour my dough. You can knead it in the bowl if you want to, and that does make less of a mess. And a lot of times you don't even have to knead it either. 'Cause but you can if you want to. Make a little bit smoother of a biscuit. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend eating it more than a couple of times though. So I don't actually use a rolling pin on my biscuits. I actually just use my hands to flatten it out. I just feel like it's a little more gentle and it just gets one less thing dirty. I was afraid to make one big batch because sometimes whenever you do recipes, you double them that many times, they mess up. And I had never done this that many times. The lovely thing about this is that I do not have to bake these tonight. We are only freezing them. And then tomorrow we'll put them in bags by the dozen for breakfast. I am basically done for the night. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna put these in the freezer, and then I will, once they're frozen or mostly frozen, I will throw them in freezer bags and pull them out to bake as needed. Yeah, I've got things put away enough for now. And I will get them more put away tomorrow, but I am beat and ready for a bath. Mostly though, my kitchen is clean. Thanks for joining me today in my kitchen. Can't wait to see you in the next video.